Good evening, YouTubers, do-it-yourselfers. Finally, after a long wait for most of you, this is the start of many videos on this Ford I'm working on. Thought I'd take an opportunity to show you something on spark plugs. And for the record, these are Ford Motorcraft. Always try to go OEM. The key thing here, though, that these are pre-gapped. Okay. So if you look in your handbook or pull it up online, you're going to find spark plug gap specifications on any vehicle. There's a proper gap tool. Notice it's like 0.4, 0.44, 0.54, and it varies when you flip it. But this is for fixing your gaps. All right, you'll never want to pry on that diode. Try to avoid touching that if you can. But that hook right there, I'm sorry, I have a phone and not a stationary camera, so I'm trying to do this, but you'll just grab a hold of it, lean back or lean forward, depending on which way you need to go, but only grab a hold of this. The main reason I decided to do this one is because, again, these are pre-gapped. These are supposed to all be pre-gapped at 0.44. The range on this pickup is between 0.43 and 0.56. So you can be anywhere in that range. But no matter where that number is in that range, all of these have got to be the same gap. The reason for that, let's say you've got 3 of them at 0.46, 0.47, or 0.50, and the rest of 0.44. Well, then 4.4s are going to fire before the others. It's just going to cause a misfire. It's going to cause issues. You just don't want to deal with it. And this is why a lot of people will do a tune-up on a vehicle, and just as soon as they're done, they crank up, fire up, think, oh, she's going to run great. No, she runs worse. That's a lot of the issue. So even on your pre-gap spark plugs, unless you're some of the Iridians with the 3-prong on the bottom, you can't change those gaps, but those are usually going to be correct. With these, you'll go through here and check each individual one. These were 0.44, so we're going to go to 0.44. And I don't know if you can see it real well, but it barely nudges both of those. I can come over here. Here's a classic example. 0.44. Straight through. So there's a difference in gap there. That one is actually at 0.52. So I'm going to go through and correct these gaps and go from there. But there's just a little thing you might want to pay attention to. Check your spark plug gaps. Make sure that they are in and seated right. When you start these things, you should be able to thread them almost all the way in by hand. If they get snug, stop what you're doing immediately. Especially on a Ford. These are steel. That Ford is aluminum. You cross thread these, you've messed up. And Ford blocks are notorious for spitting these things out anyway. Hopefully this helps somebody. I've got more coming on timing, ignition, spark advance, and all that on this truck. Like I said, this is one of many. We've been through and through this truck, from the fuel system, air intake, valves, heads, gaskets, vacuum, everything. So if you've got a Ford, this is a 4.2, but a lot of this will apply on any Ford, even the cars and SUVs. Stay tuned because there's more coming.